What does it mean to be a high value man? High value man has become a very popular term in these YouTube streets over the last several years, and it has been popularized by the late Kevin Samuels and a lot of his early work in examining what it means to be a man of valor, a man of leadership, a man of respect, a man of cultural influence and importance, and of course, a man of means, meaning your pockets being a little deeper than most. But I have a special guest with me today. His name is Tobias the Traveler, and he and I spoke a little bit before we landed on this topic. And I'm so grateful he's here to talk about his journey to becoming a high value man. Now, one thing he will explain to you is that there's more than one way to exercise this type of quality. And he explained to me that he has watched almost all of the Kevin Samuels repertoire when it comes to his videos concerning men. Now, one thing I will say, I'm much more familiar with the Kevin Samuels journey in his latter um, videos when it comes to how he dealt with women. But many people don't know that when Kevin Samuels first came onto YouTube, he spent about 3 years speaking directly to men and telling men to level up and get their game up. So we're going to dedicate this show to reflections on the high value men vis-a-vis, thoughts and formulas left to us by the late Kevin Samuels. If you are a high value man, please tell us in the chat what makes you a high value man. I put out a survey on my YouTube page a little bit earlier asking people what they thought made a high value man. And I want to explore this topic from a position of love, unity, and respect for all men. I know there's a lot of pressure on men in our society today. There's a lot of pressure for men to be, wealthy, basically, to have all this money. And if you don't have money, you're not valuable. We're not saying that at all today. We just want to explore the multiple dimensions of how a person can get motivated, improve their life, and hopefully contribute to not only society, but perhaps a family one day by becoming a high value man. If you're ready for this topic, go ahead and hit the like button. If this is your first time watching, I want to welcome you. My name is SuzetteSpeaks. If you're watching on Facebook, welcome. I am a YouTuber, TV host, and attorney. I love covering interesting topics from relationships to legal topics, current events, personal development, professional development, you name it here. And if you are looking for a little bit more sophisticated, elevated conversation, you're in the right place. I have a high value man here today with me, Tobias the Traveler. And I didn't want to put too much pressure on him because he wanted to emphasize that he already was working on it before Kevin Samuels was telling people to level up. And that, he has gone through a very, very tough journey. To see him now, you probably would not imagine, his personal story. So I can't wait for him to share it. And I hope it inspires people as well, because I think, some people believe high value men come from a certain pedigree. Others believe high value men must make six figures. If you don't make six figures, you ain't no high value man. That's what I've been seeing on my survey. Others believe that being a high value man, y'all hit the like button, is a state of mind. That no matter what you make, right? It's more than your house, it's more than your car, it's more than your bank account. It's about a state of mind. They're all correct in my actual opinion. I am a student tonight listening. It's about almost 7:30. Y'all know I love CP time. Welcome everybody. Hit the like button. This is Suzette Speaks. I can't wait to introduce you to my guest, but y'all got to get the likes up first. I want to welcome you again. Topic for tonight: how to become a high value man. Are you a high value man? Ladies, I want to hear from you. What do you consider to be a high value man? I think others got to value you for you to be high value. I think that's something strange I've seen a lot of people talking about it from their own perspective. And in my head, I'm like, but what do others say? Is it something that other people have to validate in you? Or can you declare yourself to be a high value man? I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. I will drop the link a little bit later, but before we get started, hit the like button. You know I can't bring my guest up until I get a certain amount of likes. Tobias the Traveler is already in the chat. He is our special guest. Check out his channel, y'all. It is in the description. He's all over this world. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. The Bali trips. Yeah, I want to be in Bali too with Tobias. He is a dad. He works in software development. So he'll tell you more about his story. And like I said, he didn't grow up on, let's say, the right side of the tracks, right? If you see Tobias, he clean, 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 right? Suit looking good, nice edge and fade and all that good stuff, right? Exquisitely, put together with the cufflinks and the ties. But oftentimes when we see people, we don't know their story. We don't know how they got there. We don't know where they come from. So I'm grateful that he is, ready to share some of his journey to becoming a high value man, that he didn't grow up with a dad. And to this day, he's still pushing forward. So there are a lot of folks that assume a lot. I think about this gentleman, and I think it's great that he is coming forth today as my special guest to talk about and dispel some of these myths about what it takes to be a high value man. But this show will include, dare I say, some accountability. But it's for me an exploration because, again, you see this term a lot. People talk about it a lot. And I want to know what it means to you. I want to know where you fall. And thank you, Tobias the Traveler. Everybody hit the like button as you come in. I see you, RM. Welcome. Nice to see you. Tobias is representing for Cali in the building. How are you, Michael? Good to see you. Thank you. You came from DL Saint. Oh, that's what's up. Welcome. Nice to have you here. Thank you. Hey, Simon. Nice. Oh, okay. Michael showing love on the super sticker already. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Not only come and visit, but showing love on the super sticker. Appreciate you, Michael. Thank you for donating to this content. Yes, Michael. I heard this term from Kevin Samuels. I'm not sure if he originated it, but he definitely popularized it. So this is something, again, I've heard so much about that I wanted to explore more. And I'm grateful that my guest, Tobias the Traveler, is here to help me unpack this term and what it means and how we can apply it. Here we go, says Savior Black. Nice to see you, sir. How you doing, Ace? Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Quincy. Appreciate you being here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hit the like button, drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Thank you so much. That's what we try to do, a little bit elevated. Yeah, we tried to do it a little bit different than what, we see oftentimes in these YouTube streets. State of mind can mean your imagination. Yeah, you said you got to be real. You can't have this state of mind. I put it on there. And it was a good 30% that said being a high value man is like a state of mind. I thought, okay. I wanted to, to make it an option so that people can, voice their opinions as to what they believe a high value man is and what qualifies them to be high value. What is your thoughts? Well, tonight you get to share it, and I'll drop the link a little bit later. But first and foremost, yes, high value men exist. Yes, I think there are many definitions. We're just going to share a few here based on this gentleman's personal experience. Again, he does not purport to speak for every high value man ever in the universe. Y'all don't hold him to that. But he has a journey and he has wonderful life story to share. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to have him. Yes. I asked if all high value men are men high value just because they're men, except for Pookies and Ray Rays. 7% of y'all selected that, by the way. I thought that was funny. I was just trying to be a little funny, but some people actually voted for that. But yes, likes are free. Hit the like button. Appreciate y'all. I'm excited. Again, Brown Gal Peace Lounge. Shout out to you, sis. I went over to your channel. Y'all check out her channel. She has some great meditation going on over there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I needed to get to sleep the other night. And I was listening to your stuff, girl. Keep going. Very nice meditation and reflection going on over there. Brown Gal Peace Lounge. Y'all check her out. Yes. Ode to Chef says, I don't believe you can label yourself. It should be bestowed upon you by your deeds and reputation, in my opinion. I hear you. I hear you. I think that a lot of people would agree with that. Yes, California love for sure. Thank you so much for being here. But Harrison Family Values, I see you. Nice to have you. Y'all go check out. Are your standards keeping you single? This gentleman did some work. Hello, go back and watch it. It was a fantastic stream. Thank you, Harrison Family Values, for being here tonight. So yeah, so we're gonna ask the question: how does one become a high value man? Right? I want you to enjoy. I want you to engage. But at this time, I want to welcome for the very first time on the suit. No, actually not the very first. Well, as a solo guest, we can say that because he's come up on the panel a couple times. That's how we get to know him. But for the first time as my exclusive guest, here we go. Welcome to the SuzetteSpeaks show. Please, none other than Tobias the Traveler. Hey, Tobias.
Hello, hello. Am I audible?
Yes. How you doing tonight?
Oh, life is amazing. And yourself?
Oh, you always say that, which I actually believe. I actually
It
believe you.
it is, right? I gotta say it. It is. Thank you for
I'm
having
so
me.
excited. Yay. So Tobias the Traveler is in the building. Y'all, again, he is a content creator. I found it interesting. You had started out talking a little bit about relationships. You have now switched
hmm
over to
hmm
travel and kind of being all over the world, which I find exciting. But tell us about your YouTube channel first and foremost before we get into your personal journey. And welcome.
Thank you again. So, yes, my current channel, right, is called Tobias the Traveler. Prior, I was doing, relationship content, and it was going okay, but not as okay or not as fruitful as I thought it should have gone. So, one thing about me is I love to travel. I've been, running around the world for a long time. I've lived abroad, a number of times for like years at a time, non-military, and that puts a smile on my face. I love just being abroad, seeing experiencing different cultures, tasting different foods, having the wind hit me in the face while I'm riding my moped next to the Andaman Sea in Thailand, or the Adriatic Sea in Croatia. That brings me joy. And why not share that with with the world? So I pivoted, and this was probably about a month ago. So yeah, I pivoted. I started shooting, more footage while I was in Bali last month, and it's actually, it's going all right, going all right. So I'm shooting some more stuff, very very soon. Got some more travels coming up this summer internationally, and yeah, it's just to show those that hey, you know what, the world is a big, beautiful place. Why not go see it? Right? Why not experience it? Um, it may take you a little bit longer than someone else, but that's all right. It's going to be here. Go see it. If you leave wherever your home is once, right, just say like the States, you'll get the bug as it's called, and you will leave this country again. It's gonna
Yeah,
be an amazing
there's a
experience.
big, beautiful world. I don't mean to cut you off, but yes, there's a big, beautiful world out there. So it's amazing. And what I love about you is that you're like, hey, let's pivot. Why not? So I think there's a lesson in that as well. If something ain't working, let's try something else. So I'm
Correct.
excited for you and congrats on this step in your YouTube journey. So I want to get to know you, sir. And we're going to get into this topic because I think there are people who are already skeptical about what it means to be high value. There are people that are going to figure that it's just, I don't know, a name that's bandied about, but so few people actually fit the term.
Uh-huh.
But let's start with the definition. How would you define a high value man?
Okay, well, you know what? Before I get into that, let's start with how most people right now, especially in the quote unquote black manosphere, they know what Kevin Samuels has prescribed
Yes.
as a high value man. So yeah, I've gotten those written down here. So
Oh,
obviously
I love it. He done took the notes. Go ahead, sir.
yeah, definitely. Come on and come prepared. So, number one, finances, right? He's like, oh, $10,000 a month, right? Or $120 a year for a minimum of 3 years and five and beyond. Okay. The next was, having make that's the first and second. So making that money, but then making it consistently. The third, which he outlined, was group acceptance, right? So you have other people, right, that you can actually rely on. They look at you as a peer, and then the networking. Who else can you reach out to, right, that can actually assist you, in your journey, whatever that may be. then whatever work you do is visible, right? So people can understand what you do. It's not just some like kind of, oh, I'm a consultant. Okay, well, what do you consult on? Can you make it clear to people so they actually understand? And then you being a utility or being useful to the group. Now, I think there's a bunch more that need to be added to it, but what I think is most important is not the finances just yet. The most important part I gotta say is number three, right? Number 3 and 4, which is group acceptance and having the network. Because people will say, oh, well, your network is your net worth. Okay, that's great. But maybe you aren't making a whole bunch of money, but your network, your group of friends who you rely on and they rely on you, you add high value to that circle. And say if you were to leave that circle, maybe you moved away, and you have that there were 5 people in that group. If you moving leaves 4 people in that circle is actually weaker now. They got to try to find someone to pick up the slack where you were, or divide the work that you provided, the skills possibly that you provided to that circle of friends. So high value doesn't just necessarily mean finances, which most people, as soon as they hear it, they think about the money aspect.
Yeah.
And yeah, so again, for me, it's having
So
the net.
value to others,
uh,
especially within a network.
yeah,
Interesting.
yes,
Interesting. Shout out to
definitely.
Uncle Stu. He says setting a high value super chat love. I love it. Thank you, Uncle Stu, the old man on the block.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
be
man.
seeing him here later on in this month on the Suzette Speak Show. It coming in June. I can't wait to have you, Uncle Stu. Thank you so very much for showing some love tonight on the super chat. So I'm loving the definition. So Kevin Samuels did outline some specifics.
Hmm.
And there are broader parts, and I'm just trying to make sure I digested what you just said. So you said finances, yes, are part of it. And the definition Mr. Samuels gave was 10,000 a month or
Hmm.
120 a year. Okay. Beyond that, we also said other people valuing or esteeming you so that you are seen as a leader or you are respected in your community. Is that right?
I wouldn't say just like seen as a leader, or
Mm-hmm.
the respect is there, but not really seen as a leader. Men, first off, we are captains of our own ships when you have
Yes.
a network like that. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to just be, oh, hey, you do this and you do that and you do that. I mean, that could be it for maybe for specific instances, but there are many times, especially, in my circle, I'm not going to tell, one of my good friends, hey man, you go run off and do this. And he's like, what you talking about? We have discussions. So the high value man typically isn't just delegating work, right, to those that are in his circle. Those are his peers, and we don't ever say, oh, you're a high value man. It's not like a it's not like when you in karate and you go from red belt to black belt, or like in jujitsu from brown belt to black belt, and like, oh, here now you're this. You've made it there. Here's your trophy. No, that's not what it is. The term high value man is I right now I kind of think it's just really wrong to have, because it is a title, and half the time most high value men aren't even trying to get there. It just happened. And this is before they, oh, we can get further into it in a bit, but before they even obtain the money, they have the network. Maybe they met in
Mm-hmm.
college, or maybe they met at some on the job training. Maybe they're blue collar guys, and this guy's an electrician, that guy's a plumber, and they went to the same school, but they came up kind of together. They knew each other before they had a whole bunch of money. So again, it's still the network that is extremely important, not
Okay.
the finances.
Got you. Got you. All right. So thank you for that clarification. So is there any other aspects of being a high value man
Oh,
that you picked up?
absolutely.
Yes. Tell us.
Yes, high value men, we're problem solvers. For we are, people will approach you with matters that may be beyond their scope, beyond their their knowledge base, and that's okay, because you may have that same problem. Like, hey, you know what, Dave, right, or a Don Mac, I don't know this, right? But I know you may know something about it. And you reach out to that person. So because you have a problem, you need some answers, right? they are there to assist you in matters that you a lot of times you can't figure out yourself. You don't feel like watching YouTube. You want to have the dialogue with this individual to really understand what the problem, or to tell them what the problem is. And again, it's the working towards a resolution. Next, right, we things got to make sense to us. They have to make sense. We aren't always about our emotions. We think about, like, okay, you said A, B, and C. All right, does this, we think things through. Does this actually make sense? That's the analytical side of the brain coming through. 1 + 1 = 2, 4 × 4 = 16. That makes sense. Not, okay, if we hear something and we're trying to put it together, again, we start asking more questions to try to make it make sense, that sequence of events in our minds. Next, they're good communicators, or we're good communicators, right? We want to listen first, right? Not just, and that's the hard thing, because there's a lot of men out there who may have all the money in the world. They may have the great network, but then they don't listen too well a lot of times. So if you're trying to tell them something, they think they know it all. You're like, I don't even want to be like, oh goodness. So the good communication, the good listener, are extremely important to being, just, if you want to call it a high value man, a solid man, a man who's worth his salts, right? Because even when we hear the term a man worth his salt, immediately we think of, oh, someone that's going to be respected, in their community. And but on top of that, like right next to it, is he's a learner, right? He is looking to learn. He will listen, right? Like, Uncle Stu will have things to say, and I'm listening, attentively to him, right? Whether it's on a phone call, or I'm in the live, in the live with him, or just like maybe I catch a replay, but I'm listening because he has something interesting that I find valuable. What information can I take in from that? Very, very important listening. And like, I'm sorry, and also likable. People like high value men for the most part, right? I think that's also a strong differentiator between just being the that guy who also has his life together, but it also ties back in with the network. You probably won't have that network if people don't like you. Like, people really, what, man, like, let's go grab a beer with so and so, or your families get together and all that good stuff if you have them, or maybe no one's married, and a bunch of bachelors, but they're all likable. And like I said, I would you like me to continue, or do you have? I'm sure you have
Oh,
more
I'm loving
questions.
it. I'm just listening. Because I didn't realize there were so many um character aspects or personality aspects to it that were talked about. I have always associated high value with that monetary side,
Hmm.
but understanding the communal side, understanding the role that man plays, in his friend group or his social network group, as well as his personality traits that you're describing, it actually makes me, happy. It makes me understand that there's more to this than meets the eye when it comes to the descriptions that we've seen. Many of us have only seen like the very basics, and there sounds like there's a lot more in terms of a personality type, and understanding his role within his, I would say, just his circle, his community, and understanding that there is value added by him being there. Problem solving, awesome. When it comes to likability and understanding personality, of course, there are people who are millionaires who are, you know, uh, less than likable, let's say, and people can't stand to be around them. They're arrogant, they're nasty, and all of these other things. But it sounds like this is a coupling of not only the money, but just becoming a better person in terms of your mindset, how you communicate, um, in your value to other people, and having a kind of communal sense of mind, in terms of service, in a sense, to your network, and not only being self-centered in a way. So I'm glad to see, guys, what do you guys think about what Tobias is saying, that there's more than just the pockets. Men are not just pockets. High value men are not just pockets, deep pockets, as I think a lot of people assume. Welcome. If you're just joining, let me do a quick reset. This is the SuzetteSpeaks show. Welcome. I'm speaking today with special guest Tobias the Traveler. Check out his uh, YouTube page. Go follow. He's going to be traveling all across the world and has shown us a sneak peek of some of his travels to places like Bali and other places. So I'm glad he is in that space and traveling and encouraging us to get out there and see the world. But tonight I've asked him to step into a whole nother type of conversation. I saw him vis-a-vis basically him coming up on the panel, and when we were talking about topics to discuss, this idea of what it means to become a high value man came up. And Tobias, I want to pivot now, and we'll get back to some more of the definitions. um, to your story. Can you share some of how you grew up, for example? Just your backstory so that people can understand, where you're from to your journey to becoming a high value man.
Sure. So, like many of us, particularly Black men, I come from a single parent. Right, my mother became a single parent. I think I was 11 or 12 years old. Her and my stepdad separated. My stepdad was the man who took me to kindergarten, who bought me my first big wheel, who whooped my butt when I needed it, who whooped me at Disneyland when I was 9 because I wasn't listening, and it was just he was a solid man. I gotta say that. And things just didn't work out between them. And once that once their relationship ended, I have four other brothers and sisters. So two brothers, two sisters, which I am the oldest. Once they separated, things got really, really tough for my family. And I mean, like I said, I saw, I was born in 1980. I saw the whole crack epidemic. I seen it in my family firsthand. Right, really, really seen it. Just I don't want to share to go too deep into some of the experiences that a lot of us are familiar with. But I said I've been there, I've done that. I saw a whole drugs, alcoholism. Where I grew up in California was South Sacramento, which is still the hood people know about. You tell anybody that if they're from like the Sacramento or like the 916 area, you think, oh, you say South Sacramento, folks are like, oh,
I don't know about South Sacramento, but thank you for enlightening me. Wow.
you from South Sac? Like, oh, is are you near G Parkway? I heard it was hella dangerous over there.
Oh no. Wow.
Yeah, and yeah, that's so I come from that. So from I say what when I 11, 12 years old, things fell apart with the family. Then junior high kind of area, like that middle school era of my life, ended up getting in trouble with the police, got arrested, all that good stuff. Didn't go to juvenile hall, got a slap on the wrist, and that's when I discovered, right, so with some of my other friends that crime was not for me. Like I'm like, oh no, I'm not built for that. No, no, no. Oh, I'm good. You will never see me again, jailhouse.
Right. Wow.
Right. So yeah, I said got in trouble. Had to pay like restitution, all that good stuff. When in
This is during like your teenage years.
yes, this is like I
Yeah.
don't think I was 12 or 13 when I got
Oh.
arrested. I mean, when
Well,
when
acting out like
yeah,
stepdad leave this. That. Yeah. There's a lot going on in your life. Yeah. Yeah. I can understand. Go ahead.
yeah, so
Hmm.
I mean, things, fell apart and, not having positive male role models in the area or in my life like that to actually, hey, young man, you shouldn't be doing this. You should actually be stick to your books because I grew up doing martial arts. You need to keep doing karate, keep doing that. I'm like, okay, well, actually, that's actually what I ended up doing. I went deeper into my martial arts training, and that along with video games kind of like kept me in like playing baseball kept me out of or mild athletics kept me out of harm's way.
Off these
um
streets. Yes.
yeah, and I
Wow.
mean there are people that I grew up with, like that are very close to me, that that are locked up right now, like a
Hmm.
couple of them for many for different offenses. And I'm not putting their information out there,
Right, right, right.
but
But just to understand where you came from.
yeah,
So people who you directly knew were friends with are, serving hard time. Like people are not, necessarily going off to med school and going off to all these other places. Like
mhm.
people were challenged in a lot of ways, economically and otherwise.
Yes, definitely. I mean, folks who, you know them so long, you can't remember not remembering them, right?
Oh,
Their family knows all of your family. They don't have
yeah.
to knock on your door to come in the house. They can just come in your house and it was like, oh, or you can just walk in their house. There's no issue at all. That's how close we were.
Mm, mm. So
Then,
what you said, without a strong male role model,
mhm,
martial arts was a positive force in your life. And
yes.
how did you start to develop different types of thinking, different types of habits, coming away from, the street life, if you will?
You know what? I never really, for me to go into like this the street life thing, that really wasn't who I am. I never I remember like, my stepdad telling me years ago, because I remember someone telling me like as a kid, like, oh Tobias, you think outside the box. And then he told me, well, you think outside the box because you were never in it. And I always remember that. I
I love
always,
it.
yeah, I've
Love it.
always held on to it. And, he was there, in my younger years, to form me, positively, providing me with that necessary feedback, that constructive criticism that, people, need growing up and, just throughout life. So, like, so for me to completely pivot, right, or turn away, from crying, that was like, I shouldn't have been doing that in the first place.
'Cause you're like, that's not you, bruh.
No.
No, that
Mm-mm.
wasn't you. So you got involved, you said, in baseball and athletics.
Yes, did that.
Mhm.
I've always been, super athletic my entire life. High school, like some of my other like same friends I was telling you about earlier that were, started going deeper into, to the gang life and the crime and all that. I found breakdancing, and oh yeah, my
No. Tobias, you
very
didn't tell me this. I love it. So you were a break dancer?
oh yeah, I'm a retired b boy. Oh yeah, I'm
No.
retired. Yeah,
No.
some of
Tobias,
my
where can
friends
we get the footage? Where can we get the footage of you breakdancing?
YouTube.
No.
Actually,
You
you know
put it
what?
up there?
No, some of my friends, I don't know where that old because this is in the 90s. I was dancing like from like
That's
93 or 94 to like 2001. That was like the span of my b-boy career. But some of my other
I'm
friends, they
excited. So you were
yeah.
on like a team
Oh yeah, I was
or
in a
crew?
okay. Yeah, I was an unofficial member of a crew called Chaos Crew from Sacramento.
No
KHAOS, crazy hip hop and
way.
old school. Oh yeah.
Popping, locking, and breaking over there.
Oh,
Tobias the Traveler. Don't judge a book by its cover. I love it. So you ended up getting into the arts, basically. That's interesting. So pioneer, I guess, if you want to call it that, in the culture of breaking and breakdancing. That's interesting. So you did that for a while. And
mhm.
did you end up going to college, or if so, did you have help making that decision?
Oh yeah, I ended up going, but I mean, the decision was, all mine. I also got, after, high school, just like worked for a couple of years, didn't really have
Hmm.
directions just yet. Started, I started attending Heal College and all that good stuff. Met a woman, a beautiful lady, ended up getting married. And like I was 20 years old, 21. Excuse me. So yeah,
Wow, you were
yeah,
young when you married. Yeah, wow.
oh yeah. Yeah, I saw this young lady. She saw me, and I'm like, I'm done. This is the only woman I'll probably ever want forever,
Oh,
which was incorrect.
wow.
But yeah, got married very, very young, and yeah, her and I, we divorced after we were together for 12 years, and got divorced after 10 and a half. So that ended a decade ago.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Interesting. So you are also a dad.
Yes, I am a father, a dad. He in the room right now. 'Cause- yeah, like
Wonderful. So I just want people, and I think that's fantastic. And thank you for sharing some of your journey, Tobias, because again, people will see you looking so ever clean and so, spiffed up, and people don't understand where folks come from and some of their journey being quite difficult, and understanding that no matter who you are, you can, choose a different ending. Of course, it can be a lot more difficult for some of us because we have greater odds stacked against us. But I'm grateful that you were, transparent in that, you didn't come from a silver spoon. I really wanted people to understand that, so that it's not like you, like there's no prerequisite for where a high value man can originate. I wanted to make that very clear.
I fully agree with that. I mean, you can come from any place and get to, you know, an area of life where your family, your friends, like, your network are doing very, very well. But it all starts with you. It starts with that person. They have to make the choice, even if it's a extremely tough choice. You can make it happen. I am wow. Some of my views are a bit more conservative, and a
Mhm.
lot of times people don't like that. But I'm like, man, let's just talk about what it is. What are you doing? We must hold ourselves accountable first. I actually had a white woman try to tell me that I was privileged, and I was like, what? You should never say those words.
Uh, don't
And
come for me, Karen. Don't go.
yeah, I had to break her off right with the whole
No,
truth
but
because she was
you hear
like,
a well-spoken black man, nice suit, well groomed. There seems to be something quote unquote different, out of the ordinary, extraordinary. For some people, they are not comfortable or familiar with that image of a black man in specific. So I think it's telling. It's telling when you um see that type of, which I say, engagement, where
mhm.
people are telling you your privilege and you're like, lady, if you knew the hood I came from, you would have a whole different story. Y'all hit the like button. We doing work in here, y'all. Tobias the Traveler is here with me to talk about how he became and how you can too, how to become a high value man. You were talking a little bit, Tobias, and thank you for sharing some of your personal journey, because I wanted people to ground you so that they understood, what perspective are you bringing and where are you coming from with your life experience. So y'all can hear that he is not, again, a silver spoon type kid. He actually had quite the opposite experience. And you were talking about, decision making and accountability. And I was asking you about how you came to go to college. You said that was something that was already inside you.
Yeah, that for me
Wasn't a
was
choice, it didn't sound like.
yeah. Okay, when I remember growing up, I remember Tobias, you need to get a job, right? You need to get a job. You need to go. I'm like, okay, well, I need to get a job. So I remember my first job was working at Mervin's. So the women's beauty department.
Mervin's, take us back.
Mervin's
Wow.
worked at Mervin's. Yeah,
I think my
but
first job was Walgreens, but go ahead. Yes.
yeah, so ended up going to this technical college for quite a bit. Did all that, and yeah, that though did not propel me even close to where I am today. I gotta say, like the debt that I incurred and all that I had to pay off, that did not bring me to where I am. That's not the genesis, for me.
So that
Attending
was like a
university.
technical, like ITC Tech, that kind of
Yeah,
school. So
yes,
you end
that
up
did
with 20, 30,000 in debt,
correct.
and then it's not giving you the type of job opportunity necessarily that you thought it would.
Yeah, that didn't again didn't propel me into like again the lifestyle that I have been able to create on my own today. It did not, and that I attribute to it was 2009. I was working actually. I used to have a video store, and I remember I was out one night, and it was late night after a club. I go to this Mexican restaurant, waiting to get my food, and I hear this one guy talking about 9/11 and how it was a seaspiracy, and I don't want to upset the algorithm, but or was it a job inside the US had planned that, and he and I we just started talking, and real cool cat, really good guy, right? He was uh where is he? He's Iranian, and we just hang out. Actually, we were talking that night, and he was like, "Yo, man, let me get your number, man. Let's hang out sometime." I'm like, "Nah, I don't really give men my number like that, but we'll catch up one of these days."
Bloop.
Then we ended up seeing each other a couple of weeks later at a local bar here called the Shady Lady, and he stops and he's like, "Yo, man, you look familiar." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, we met a couple of weeks ago. We're talking about 9/11 truth, blah blah blah." And he, when I saw, I talked to him. So what do you do? He was like, "Oh well, I'm an electrical engineer by trade. I am the director of imaging sales at a tech company and some in San Diego or something. And he brought me into his network, right? We just
Oh,
started hanging out
wow.
a little bit. And then I see other men in my age group, and they are all doing very well for themselves. So we've got this gentleman who brought me in, he's making six figures plus.
And this
Then
was just a random dude that you ran into?
yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was just like the energy was like real cool. I'm like, you know what? Let's link up with I don't want to put his name out there. I'm gonna link up with so and
No,
so,
no.
and yeah, it was just great time. So he's like, hey, he hit me up. He texted me, yo, yeah, come over, man. I got a bunch of folks coming over tonight. We're gonna pregame here before we go to the Shady Lady, which I used to hate that place at first, but it grew on me. And he, like I said, he introduced me to his network. So he introduced me to my current dentist, right? So who owns his own practice, right? So obviously, if you're a dentist, we already know your paper is going to be there. He introduced me to another gentleman who, actually now runs a a marketing company. So a digital marketing company doing very, very well. He and I, we just hung out. Was it last weekend? Actually, when he was there for my birthday, a couple of weeks ago. So we hung out then. We've hung out numerous times, and I know his family. And I'm like, he's introducing me to other men that are doing
So just
very
out of a
well.
random meetup and then happen to cross paths again, this man opens
Yes.
his network up to you.
Yeah, I started
Wow.
coming. Yeah, Ross's house. Well, it wasn't Ross. Ross's spot was like the kicking spot. So so hey, this is where we're gonna go pregame. Cool. Then we'd stroll over to another, a bar or something, and I started just talking to the other men in the group and learned about what they did. And I looked at myself and where I was in life, and I'm like, I am behind. These men are in
Mm,
my age group. I am behind. Ownership. What
mhm,
do I need to do to get the ball rolling?
mm.
And I saw, what they did. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not about to go to school to be a dentist. I wasn't really thinking about digital marketing. I wasn't thinking about being, an electrical engineer. So I still hadn't found like which direction I wanted to go. And like I said, I used to teach, or like partial owner of a kickboxing gym. So I'm like, this is boring. I'm not trying to do this anymore either. So I applied. Actually, I'll take you now at how I became, the start of the high value man journey before high
Mhm.
value man was even a thing. Um,
Okay.
I applied for a job at a Bay Area video game company called Kabam.
Mhm.
And they made games for Facebook. Facebook games on like 2010. You or people was playing Farmville and all that other stuff.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I applied for this job, just a customer service job. We got the job, and next thing I'm moving to the Bay Area, and I'm or actually I had my place here because I was still married at the time, but I also had an apartment in Oakland, and I was just going to work in San Francisco every day. Get little sometimes commute, sometimes take the BART, from my apartment in Oakland into San Francisco. Did that for a little bit and ended up getting laid off. Now from that point I'm like, look, I need another job. So I applied for another mobile games company, another video game company. And, I sent them my resume and they're like, hey, they reached out, hey, we like your CV. Let's talk. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, but who says CV? And they asked me if I wanted to have a Skype interview, or they gave me the Skype link. I'm like, who has
Mhm.
a Skype link, a Skype interview? What usually it's a preliminary phone call. Well, when I applied, I found the job on Indeed.com. I didn't look at the company information at all. When they hit me up, that's when I looked and I saw that they were located in Berlin, Germany.
Oh, wow.
And I was going through my divorce and all that stuff. And yeah, I had my first interview with them, went great. I get contacted by them again. They're like, hey, you know what? We really like you. Do you want to have, your final interview on Skype, or do you want to come to Berlin, for a face to face, and we'll fly you here? They flew me to Berlin. I'm like, I'm going to Berlin. It was just for a weekend, but I interviewed on a Friday, partied on Friday night,
That's
partied on
what's up.
Saturday night. Yeah, then Sunday, I flew back to Cali. Monday morning, I woke up. I had to offer my email. 5 weeks later, I moved to Berlin.
That's crazy. Like, I'm listening. I'm sorry. I'm here smiling off. I'm drinking my tea off camera, but
Hmm.
that's crazy in a beautiful way.
Yeah.
Um, your story is one of like life alignment. You know, I think sometimes when life gives us, you know, lemons making lemonade, obviously going through a divorce is no fun. Obviously, your life changes tremendously. And looking at life as, you know, there's still potential, there's still offers, there's still doors that I can create or walk through. And it's so beautiful that that unexpectedly was an overseas position. So you go to Berlin and you start working in Berlin. How long were you in Berlin for?
2 years.
Oh, that's what's up. So, all Mr. International. So you get to see all of Europe. You get to kind of become a true expat in a way, and understanding, you know, different lifestyles, different thinking, how people do things in other cultures and places. How did that change you?
Mm, I can't say it changed me because I've always been, the person who was super international. Like even like
Mm,
as a kid, like doing karate, I knew, everyone. Where does karate come from? Karate comes from Japan. As a kid, and also, like I was. You can ask anyone who knows me from back then. They'll be like, "Oh, Tobias was, a break dancer by day and ninja by night." I
that's
was
hilarious.
always wanting to, hit some of the country up, have my feet in the sand, smell the air, taste the food,
So that's
have
always been in you. That's not something that
always.
was new. So that's kind of like an extension. Going over to Berlin was like an extension of what you always enjoyed. Y'all hit the like button. I'm enjoying the conversation with Tobias the Traveler. And he's talking about his journey. And I think it's, again, very important to understand where people come from and kind of the steps they've taken
Mhm.
so that we can understand, you know, who is he and how did he level up. And I'm grateful for that. Now, did you consider yourself a high value man then?
No, I wouldn't. You know what? No, at the time, it was, like I said, fresh out of a long term relationship, fresh out of a marriage. I'm just trying to go meet women.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And friends, family, they know I
You was in these streets, huh, Tobias? Tobias say, I'm free. Tobias was in these
yeah,
streets.
I am not going into that.
Okay, we won't
Yeah,
judge. We won't judge.
yeah,
Okay.
and yeah,
Okay.
but
So you had this newfound freedom
yes.
and you were thoroughly enjoying it. We'll leave it like that. And so when did your high value piece, and I want to ask you, and I saw your question, Ace, about when Kevin Samuels came into your, you know, psyche and how you started to ingest his content. But when did it start becoming, or when did you start becoming high value, you feel?
Mm, all right. Well, let's say if we look at Kevin Samuels's basic outline, everything but the finances I already had.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, and then for
So give us those
me,
examples for you. According
okay,
to him,
so
what were you already experiencing?
I already had group acceptance, right?
Okay.
Slash network.
Mhm.
My work is visible, right? So I can tell you, I can say, well, for most folks, if they don't know, be like, hey, I'm in product management or product or software product management or software product strategy, and you can pretty much go look that up real fast. And even though if Google may not give you the best definition, it is still there. Or if you
Okay.
type in like product manager, product strategist in LinkedIn, you will see there's whole bunch of folks that work with software engineers, designers, and all that stuff, QA, every day. So the work is visible, and then utility, being useful to others, whether it's friends, neighbors, or the stranger who I'm just speaking to on a flight because she just needed somebody to, you know, uh, convey whatever pain she had at the time. That utility. So I had all of that. The journey to high value really began when I came back from Europe in 2015. So I lived in Germany for 2 years, left Germany and moved to Sweden, and was in
Mm,
Stockholm, Sweden for a year. Then came back to the States. But while in Europe, I picked up a new skill, which
mm.
is product management. And if my brother's listening, I know he's probably laughing because he's gonna be like, it's a little inside joke we have. He's like product management, but the I picked up this skill there. Now product management is a skill in the States. You're fresh out the gate. You should be pulling, well, depending on where you live, minimum six figures. So when I came back to the States, I wasn't making six figures in Europe because most jobs actually don't pay that much. The cost of living is usually a lot less, and then the taxes are a lot higher. So they're gonna beat you up, they'll beat you over your head with the taxes, as we already
Yeah.
know. But here I came back 2015. The first job I landed as a product manager is, yeah, and I immediately hit 100 grand. Apply for the
Right.
job, get it, 100 grand. Like, okay, cool. And I haven't had a position that paid anything less. That right now, I'm like, if someone tells me that, I'm like, y'all crazy.
Oh, you're like, don't ever
No.
try me like that. Interesting.
Exactly. But yeah, so it started in like 2015. And like this is before Kevin Samuels. I was already aware of the manosphere back then. It was actually just the manosphere. There was no black manosphere, or that's right when the black manosphere had kind of like started up. So
Mm.
um
So you were
yeah.
already leveling up,
Mhm.
and so at that time you got familiar with Kevin Samuel's message to men.
No, 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 no. I mean, I remember back when Tommy Sotomayor 2013 was going
Hmm.
hard, way before Kevin Samuels, right?
Mm.
When Tommy Sotomayor, when he was calling, I remember when he first lost like half his subscribers overnight for calling, some sisters hair hats. I was like, oh, did he just see that?
Lord.
But oh yeah, that man was going in. Now, I discovered Kevin Samuels like a lot of people did, based on the average at best video, and I'm like, wow, I'm listening to his content, like all the content how he talked to women, but I'm like, I was already making YouTube content.
Mm.
I'm a curious person by nature. I ask questions. Where did this man come from? What is his journey? So I went all the way back through his catalog and I watched, his first video, which is to this day still up when he walks out there with a fragrance. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just count. I'm like, what are you doing, homie? It was
Oh.
super, super corny, but it's just a fragrance review. And it was, he that's all he did was fragrance reviews for a bit. Then he started talking to men. And when I heard his message, I'm like, dude, you're not saying anything I don't already know. But there's a
Mm.
lot of men who need to hear it. And it's not a message for women. Nothing he said was about women. It was
At that time,
all,
right, right, right.
yes, it was all about men. And I mean, I listened to his show, guys would call it, oh, he would roast they behind. Oh,
Yeah.
rotisserie. I mean, it,
Terrible,
yeah.
terrible.
So,
So so I like the fact that again on your journey, people want to ask you some questions. I definitely gonna drop the link
sure.
in a little bit here. Ace Butterfly is asking, have you experienced any setback because of your race during your journey? Why does my phone want to act like I ask some questions? During your journey, people downplay how hard. I agree, Quincy. How are you? People downplay how hard Kevin Samuels, that is, was on men. Absolutely,
Quincy
absolutely.
Frierson, Tobias Frierson. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I see the fam is in the building. So yeah, I think that's true. I don't think again, I had not gone back in the Kevin Samuels catalog to go look up, some of his very first few years where he did focus solely on men. Besides what you've listed, is there anything else that you want to share that you've been able to demonstrate as a high value man in your life? Or other characteristics that you want to mention that you didn't get a chance to mention?
Yes, yes. Okay. Again, there are many, paths to becoming a high value man. And even if one doesn't have the money, that I don't think you can discount them being a high value man. I have friends in my circle who I would not be where I am today if it was not for them. And they don't make, the money, right? That is as outlined by, Kevin Samuels. But they have, created high value for me. I've received a ton of value from them for years. And for me to say, oh, well, these guys or this gentleman over here is not high value just because he doesn't make this much money would be a lie. I would hope he punch me in the face if I didn't call this out, because I don't believe it's solely about the money. When you get to the financial part of it, yeah, you can move a little differently than other men can. Definitely, you can, but that does not negate the fact that what, especially the men who are there, who helped you become who you are as this high, this solid man, this high value individual, the one who helped you out with your moral compass, who helped you out with with any area of your life that you needed because you were inadequate at the time and they were above you. You cannot discount that man. You cannot say he's not high value because, oh well, now I'm making more money than him. Nah, nah. We
I think that's a good point. A lot of people, again, have minimized this terminology to mean money. And I think it is great that, from a high value man, clearly, that there is a validation of other, sounds like soft skills, personality traits, character traits that are far more important, putting people on, understanding how to hold your brother accountable, moving a certain type of way within a group, right? Group dynamics. This is why people from other cultures get so far because they understand the power of the group dynamics and helping one another and, paying it forward. I've dropped the link. I want anyone who wants to come up and talk about their experience, either becoming a high value man or what they learned from Kevin Samuels with regards to his early work directed at men. But yeah, I think people downplay, I agree, that people downplay a lot the message and the fierceness that Mr. Samuels had for men in terms of his desire to see them live in a fully expressed and powerful way, and so that they were not discounted, so that they were not marginalized or not able to take their seat at the table. Hit the like button, y'all, if you're enjoying the conversation, talking about how to become a high value man tonight with my special guest YouTuber, Tobias the Traveler. Check him out. His name is all together when you look him up on YouTube, also on
no
Instagram, and his
spaces.
links. Yes, I love it. All right, his links are in the description, as well as thank you, RM, for dropping it in the chat. But yeah, the link has been dropped if anybody wants to come up, because I'm really curious as to how many of you guys agree with some of the definitions that we've heard and understanding the KS model. Has it been helpful to you? Do you, I'm talking about those watching, do you feel like you qualify? Do you know high value men? Are you past this? Yes, thank you. Yes, Alaska managers, if you just joined, yes. He had a fun definition. You got to go back to the beginning of the stream, a full definition, I should say, of descriptions beyond the six figures, beyond the six figure, well beyond that. Yes, I agree with this, TTO. People research KS, but don't research their roots, right? Or other parts of their history. I hear you. Thank you. No problem. When you go back afterwards, team replay, no problem. Like the video says, Michael, thank you so much. Appreciate you. If you're just joining, hit the like button. No worries. This is a very good conversation about all of the aspects of high value men, not just the money. Let me see. Quincy adds, he stressed we be, but I think Kevin Samuels stressed that we be providers, protectors, pursuers, and lastly, the pastor. Interesting. To rebuild black families, but we emphasize the more salacious talk to downplay the work he was doing. Again, I agree in terms of there is definitely more to Kevin Samuels than what the media had, chalked him up to be. I did a wonderful stream with I Am Courtney Michelle, what Kevin Samuels meant to me. Go back and watch it. Thought it was very eye opening, and it gave him, it humanized him more so than I think a lot of people are able to see, except for the sound bites and the viral moments. And as she said, Kevin Samuels was a master marketer, right? On purpose. Like that's how people paid attention. That's how he got 1 million plus on Instagram, on YouTube, because he knew what was the marketing strategy. Quincy adds that we have to be assertive and confident and intelligent. Yes. Let me see. Thank
There,
you.
There was
Mhm.
one, I
Go
think it was
ahead.
a question earlier that asked if I had any problems with, race
Yes.
with on my way to becoming, the man that I am now.
What would you say?
And I, mm, no. Well, okay. Are we going to ask, are we talking about like, the professional side of it or my personal side? Because they
Whichever way
are,
you wanna answer. They weren't specific, but whichever way you
okay.
wanna answer.
So with my personal life, no. Mm-mm. Well, you know what? I gotta say, personal life. Well, no. Uh, Growing up, like just who I am, Tobias. Especially when I go out, when I step out, like people know I'm gonna be in a suit. Right? My brother calls me Suit Man, or one of my brothers calls me Suit Man. Uh, some women will not. They look at me and they know they don't have a chance. They just know, like, oh, he ain't messing with me, which is the truth. Cool. That's from my personal life. From my professional life, no. And it actually really sets, you apart when you can come into an organization, you're the only darky like in the building, but and they're like, well, you really must know your stuff if you are here. You really to beat out all those other folks, right? The non-black folks, your non-black counterparts, to beat them out, you know your stuff. And for what they, what for the money forcing them to pay me.
Right.
Yeah.
I think maybe sometimes in the tech industry, it depends because obviously there have been lawsuits against some big tech companies claiming that there was a hostile work environment, etc. But I think sometimes, especially in fields of, for example, like engineering, etc., there can be no doubt that people must judge you by what you know, as opposed to race or ethnicity. But yes, for real, last good manager, as he says, racism exists in and out of business. Race isn't any more or less an issue in a career than it is in your high rise. Interesting. Yes. So you said something that really just perked. Thank you, Sandy B. Law. You're reading my mind. Perked my interest when you said there's women that look at you and was like, I can't have him. Is that what that was? That's the.
Oh yeah. Like that. Yeah. There's
So
women
they
who
automatically are intimidated by you.
absolutely, or
Wow.
I don't know if I would call it intimidated, or they just know that I just don't deal with women like her, or
Bruh,
yeah.
you're so funny. I'm gonna ask you to describe what that woman is like, but I'm also gonna go to Sandy B. Law. Nice to see you, sis. Glad you are here. Host of Learn Biz, the podcast. One word, Learn B-I-Z, the podcast. So, what characteristics does a high value man look for in a woman? Would you get married again?
Not in the United States of America.
Okay, I've heard
No.
this.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No.
So the framework
That's
and
a whole
legal
nother.
framework. No,
Yeah.
no, I'm just asking in a general sense. That
Okay.
framework
Yeah.
of the laws is not for you.
Yeah. No, I don't think I'd get married in the United States of America again. No.
Okay, cool. All right. So, what does a high value man look for in a woman?
Oh, this is easy, right? The first three letters is simple. FBI, feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. Next to that is cooperation. And some folks may say that, but then it's also subjective to the man. What is that? What type of cooperation is that man looking for in his chosen woman? Very,
Hmm.
very important, because what I may want is probably a little bit different than what my brother wants, or a little bit different than a couple of my other friends desire. And it does come down to that man's ultimate, like that subjectivity. What does he want? And
Hmm.
if she is willing to hey, this is what this is my program, and she's like, I am all that sounds great to me. Cool. That's what that man wants. And we've all heard men will go down in looks to go up in cooperation. That is so true. And if a woman is like kind of like pushing back on a man and fighting him on certain things, he's like, I'm good. I don't want all that. Especially when he has his plan, he has his trajectory, and you can see him hitting those milestones in his trajectory, and you're trying to fight him on that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's not gonna work out. he'll
Yeah.
find somebody else.
But I think that what you're talking about is a demonstration of true leadership, because there are so many, and this is not a critique, but there are a lot of guys who don't know where they're going or don't have that clear, um, you know, compass for where they see their lives going or where a woman would fit into their lives. But understandable for men who are, what should I say, purpose driven and understand what they're supposed to be doing.
But see, a lot of times when you first start off on that journey, you don't know where you're going. You just need to
Mm.
get on the road,
True.
right? If the man just gets on the road, he may not know where the it's not about the destination, it is the journey.
Mm.
But just getting on the road, a lot of times you'll figure out your destination on the way there. You might have thought you was going from, from the West Coast, from San Francisco to New York City, but you ended up in, South Carolina, which ain't too far from New York City. You might have ended up in Miami, Florida. You might have ended up in, the Dominican Republic, because you got to take a flight. There's
Mm.
many, many ways to skin a cat, right? There's many ways. But it's about the journey, but just
Absolutely.
getting on it, right? Just getting on it. Just
Right.
I know I'm supposed to be doing more. Okay, well, what should I do? Well, I'm gonna just start doing something, figure it out along the way. But again, then going back to learning from what he's doing, like, "Ah, I don't like this, I don't like that. Let me try something else. That's kind of cool. Let me keep pushing on that. Oh, and I also made some money doing that. I like
I
making
love it. I'm
money.
reading the comments. Sorry. This is very interesting. So every man, especially in a high value man capacity, has different desires. Some people talking about in shape, cooperative, lighthearted, inspirational. I've seen that a couple times. Danny G says, "Mad respect, great decision, my brother. Salute. This is a smart man. A high value man can be a great target in America. Women want your money, but not you." Do you feel that way?
Mm, yeah, I can see, definitely. You just look at athletes all day. Look at, okay, entertainers, because athletes are entertainers
I
first and
feel like those are
foremost.
different type of people. I feel like though
But
you
it
can't judge people by
Yeah,
those people. But go ahead.
but it's the money first and foremost, right? It's the money. Now, if you take, men who are successful in business or in other areas, their finances are in order. So women may want them. It is a very I've spoken to many Caucasian women, and hey, they will marry a guy who is financially secure, because money is security. First, it is. You got a whole bunch of money. Okay, if we have children, he can take care of our children. I probably won't have to work as much.
So is there anything wrong with that?
No, I don't think,
I don't think
no,
there's anything wrong with that. We're gonna do
no.
another show on hypergamy, by the way,
Oh yeah,
since
let's do it.
everybody wants to worry about that. And thank you to who's gonna do it with me? I forget, but we're gonna do a follow up to that show. DL and I did. It was a fantastic stream. So yeah, interesting that you say that. But yeah, financial stability is what most women want.
Hmm.
So to think of it as like you are a target, women want your money, but not you. What about that
Mm,
second part? Do you feel that? Do you ever feel that?
I don't. Well, yeah. Well, I will feel it, but then it's typically, look at the age group of that of that man, and then look at the age group of, the women. So they will see him as, oh well, he can get my hair and nails done, or whatever they're looking for. This man can supply that with no problem. All right, cool. But I don't feel like a target if a woman is even coming at me that way. It's so transparent, at nightlife establishments, that I already know. Well, she's no, I'm good. You know,
That's so funny.
yeah,
Tobias, like I've been there, done that, y'all. Don't play me like this. I love
yeah.
it.
I'm
Sandy
about to
B.
play
Law,
you.
right? You're like, be careful. I love it. Sandy B. Law says, since you are a world traveler, is your aversion to American women because you prefer an international woman or a woman of a specific cultural or ethnic background? What say you?
No, you know what? I like women who like me.
So is it about being an American woman?
Mm, like it's not about being. It's a couple different things. It could be about being an American woman. It could be about her viewpoints. Like, if like I like more conservative women. And if it's this lady's like super liberal, it's not gonna work. This is not
When you
gonna
say a
work.
conservative woman, what does that mean?
A woman who values family, right? Values, hey, she values, her man. She values her. She is, girly girl. Her value system is more of, what, I want to make sure my family is always going to be paramount. I am there to support my husband. I like the term husband. I don't really say the word partner. Her husband or boyfriend. That's what she's there for. She wants to see her family, grow. She wants to see her family flourish. And if it's her extended family, she's want to be there, to help them. That is, what draws. Like I find that attractive. I really, really do.
So family values over everything. I hear you. I hear you. Being able to support her man, it sounds like, in
Correct.
his vision and his role. Y'all, we got about 20 more minutes. If you guys want to come up, this is the time. I thought everybody would want to jump in, but they're listening tonight. I'm going to drop the link one more time,
Hey,
answer a few
smart.
questions in the chat, but no one wants to come in and talk about the high value man. I thought we would be blowing up here, but here's the link, guys. I'm dropping it again. Join the conversation. I'm here with Tobias the Traveler, talking about his journey to becoming a high value man, what he learned from Kevin Samuels, and more. So if you're enjoying the conversation, first and foremost, hit the like button, please, so that other people will be able to see this stream, as well as you can go back after we're done and comment with your thoughts and feedback. So let me read some more of the comments, see what people got to say here.
That's something
Lots
controversial, huh?
about the
Last year.
marriage piece. I'm going to ask you if you get married again. I'm like, well, they open a can of worms with that one. Let's see. People talking about the government does not need to be in marriage. Let me see. Man, Daddy G said should marry without the court system. Interesting. Okay, TTOO says the government or the world doesn't define marriage. Interesting. TTO says each person defines their own marriage. If the government defines your household, you are weak to begin with. Interesting. I want Oprah money, not her. Y'all so funny.
I
Let
saw
me
that.
see. It's also about choices. Aren't the athletes interchangeable choosing who they marry and give their money to? Interesting. Yeah. They
Absolutely.
they are. Example, IG post, Nia Long posted when her ma first got the head coaching position with the Celtics. Now his team is going to play in the championship. She said she expect great things from him. Of course. Is this about supportiveness? Of course. Of course. I'm assuming Nia Long is maybe dating someone who's a coach. From that, inferentially, I don't understand. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to like
Yeah.
celebrity lifestyles like that. People, oh,
No, I
so and
don't
so's
know.
marrying so and so. I'm like, who?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would love to, like, yes. Yes, I expect ladies to be hypergamous. We're gonna talk about when we do it again. We're gonna talk about how hypergamy might be, what should I say? The word might not be destroying, but definitely having an impact on the Black family. We're going to talk about it from that perspective in the next time, and I
oh,
think
that's
that
something I
will
can
be,
definitely go.
yeah, it's a big topic because everybody want a baller, everybody want somebody who is going to make more money than them, but there's not enough. Can I just say it? High value men to go around for as many high value women as there are. Am I wrong for saying that? Is everybody upset with me for saying that?
But okay,
I
we
think.
let before we
Go
if you
ahead,
say
sir.
that, I would
Yes.
say let's look at the number of high value men and the number of high value black men and the number of high value black women
Yes.
by the numbers.
Right.
And we're probably going to see that there's more high value black men than high value black women. But we have to account for gay black men
Mm-hmm.
and already married black men. Now, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if those numbers can be discovered, but then you have to remove them from that pool of high value black men. So once those numbers, those cohort is removed, it does significantly drop the number of eligible bachelors, eligible black men that are out there for high value women. But as men, we don't care when a man's money is right. We don't
He's not looking for
care.
that. That's
No.
the big rub. That's the
Yeah.
big I don't want to say the big lie, but it's the big rub that everybody thinks that there's so much. Hey, Danny, thanks for coming up. That this is what men value, and it's just a very interesting thing. So the last good man in Jersey asked, "How do you define a high value woman?" And I guess is that the type of woman you're looking for?
One moment.
I love it. Somebody call you?
No.
This. Oh, you're looking it up?
No.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you'll see something in the chat here just shortly.
Oh, sorry. All right. Well, so how would you define high value woman?
The high value woman is the lady who does right whatever she knows her husband requires to be successful, and that like she does it without being asked, whatever that is. Well, now when we look at like celebs, right, or millionaires, there's one woman I think that a lot of people try to downplay her. They were talking bad about her. Oh, she got, $34 billion from Steve Bezos. Steve Bezos' ex-wife, right, Mackenzie. For a woman like that, so she was with him when it was nothing, right? When Amazon only sold books. The
On the come
stress,
up. On the
right?
come up. Yep.
Yes. The woman who was there at the beginning when you might be making money, but you're like, you know what? I have this business idea. And all the stress, all the strain that man is experiencing in life, she is there to comfort him and provide that solace when no one is there behind those closed doors. Whatever it is, she's doing that. That woman is priceless.
Yes.
And okay, they end up getting divorced. She walked away with $34 billion. You don't know what she put up with or what she had to go through, or what she had to
Listen, she's the real
experience.
MVP, man. I agree.
Exactly. And you don't
Yeah.
see
She knows
him.
the real Bezos. She got the real
Yes,
man because she saw
she
him all through the process. Yeah, I agree.
correct. She saw
Mm.
him. So, I think they met in college or something like that also. She got him before all of that. Way
Before the
before.
billions. Shout out to
Exactly,
BTP.
Will. Exactly. Shout out to Will before the billions. Yeah, she
Yeah.
caught him. She caught that fish. He was still a
Yeah.
minnow.
Yeah.
So yeah, any woman that is doing that work, and he doesn't have to be a millionaire. She
Yes.
is. What? Like I said, he might be a plumber, but
Supportive. So you're saying high
exactly,
value woman is a supportive woman, supports her
absolutely.
husband's vision before he even asks.
Yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
or even what, or maybe he communicates it, but she internalizes it, and she helps him a lot of times see things in angles or from perspectives that he did not even know existed.
That's the
Right? He's like, oh,
inspirational part. I hear you.
he's
Answer this
like,
question real quick and we'll bring up
okay,
Danny. If Tobias remarries, thank you, Chemo, for the gift. Appreciate your donation, sir. If Tobias remarries to a foreign woman, would he bring her to the U.S.? If so, is he worried that a foreign woman can change if she moves to the U.S.? Technical question here, sir.
oh, that's the simple. I'm not bringing any. If I meet a foreign woman, I'm not bringing her back to the Matrix. You know this? No, no. She anyone in them spaces, you've heard that term. You will not. Don't bring an amazing woman back to the Matrix, which is the United States. It will mess her mind up 9 times
Y'all
out of
so
10.
funny. Not the Matrix.
The Matrix.
Yeah, she's gonna be brand new. When you get her here, you're gonna
Mhm.
realize if she love you or not now. Come on now. You'll
True.
realize if she start bringing auntie them and cousin them and uncle them and falling for her grandma, or if it was about the
Or
true love. Y'all don't want to find out though.
no,
Y'all
no,
don't
no.
want to find
But
out.
that's the thing, though. It might not even be she's bringing them. I'm not going to. If you're going to bring a woman to the States like that, she is going to be a very attractive woman. Or 9 times out of 10, she's going to be what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And other men who probably are doing more than you are going to be at her. Here comes that
Oh, you gotta
hypergamy.
protect it. Protect it. Oh,
Yeah,
Tobias,
like
thank you. Showing support. I see what you was doing now. I'm like, pay attention. What are you
it's like,
doing? Here you
yeah, I
go.
had to. Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
like, who's on your phone? What's going on? Thank you, Tobias the Traveler, doing work here. Danny, how are
Yes,
you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm
Happy that
enjoying
you're
the show.
here. First time
Huh?
up. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Welcome.
First time I'm at work, I'm like, let me find 5 minutes, let me show up because the subject is really important.
Okay.
Education like this, we don't have that debate at school. So that's why we have so much chaos. Because most young
Exactly.
people they don't know that kind of information,
No,
and they
they
go make
don't.
wrong choice, men and women sometimes.
I agree. We don't teach relationships. I don't know why we
Yeah,
stopped doing that, or
yeah, it
why
is crazy.
grandma and mommy stopped telling people how really the birds and bees work and how life works. But we
Yeah.
definitely have a lot of catching up to do. So, what do you think about this concept of the high value man? What are your thoughts on the conversation tonight?
I always think an high value man. I wouldn't say this is the money is good too, but I think a lot of people take that wrong. If you think high value men is just like because I make a lot of money,
Right.
I'm high value men. Because we have a lot of men, football players, other people that make a lot of money, millions of dollars, and they make poor decision and they become, some of them even end up retiring poor and stuff like that. So I think an high value man is a man that, I mean, if you're a good man, if you're taking care, no matter your level, because we'll never be in the same level. Like like men, all men is not gonna have like plenty of money, like millions of dollars. Okay, but I think at the level you are, if you provide for your family and you continue want to better yourself, yes, you want to make more money, but not all men gonna reach the millionaire status. But
Right.
if you're a man and you protect, you provide, you solve the problem of your family, and you do the right thing, and your family, you watch over your kids, you're taking care of your family. I mean, the family is going great, the kids are taken good care of, both of us are working, and we're taking care of each other. I mean, you are an argument. I mean, if you care, you love society, you're doing good deed, this is an argument to me. So I don't think argument is like just because I make a lot of money. That's why I said the way Kevin Samuel said, we have to be very careful, because if you say I value men, or once I make so much money, I value, you could also be a target to some women. Okay, not all women, but to some women, you might be a target, because we have to be aware, not we're not gonna generalize nothing. We should not. Not everyone the same, not every man the same. Okay, but we
Yes.
have to be aware. Some men are predators too, just like some women are predators. So it's on both sides. We have to be very careful how we're moving with this value thing.
I love it. I love it. So very good. Danny G doing work here, guys, explaining that once you take care of your responsibility, it sounds like your responsibility to your wife, to your household, to your children. Once you are a provider and trying your best and pushing, your kids and making sure you're protecting your household, exercising good judgment, trying to, move your family forward, whether your wife works or not. There is a concept that you would like to apply to high value men, that it's not about the millions, it's not about the six figure, it's about how you maintain your household and how you, provide and protect your family and push yourself to being better. What would you say to Danny's comments, Tobias?
I can agree to nearly all of it. I think there was one part of it, I think near the end, where he said, you might be a target by
Mm-hmm.
some women. And okay, being a target, to be well, even if you are, if you have, finances like that, you meet some woman, you as a man allow that woman in your life. You choose, right, if she can come into your life and assert or exert that type of force on you. Now, if you're like, what, this is not cool, man, you better be like Nino Brown and be like, cancel that, I'll buy a new one. Okay, that is all you. If you are getting ran amok by somebody, you can, the same way you choose to provide for your family, your friends, that circle, how you run your household, you can run that out of your presence. Like, look, you know what? I'm just not feeling this. We don't tolerate that kind of behavior. Goodbye. I don't need
I
you.
hope a lot of these high value men listening, because I don't know if they choosing the properly. I don't
You,
know.
oh, but you know what?
Mm.
Sometimes that the sex be amazing, and you're like, oh my god. So that's a real thing. That is
That's
a
what
bit.
happened. They get caught. They get caught by the
But
goodies.
The goodies be real good sometimes, but you can, oh man, it's easy to find more goodies. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
it's like
Keeping it real here on the SuzetteSpeaks show. What's up, y'all? Hit the like button. Understanding the mind of a high value man. Let's go.
the
I
goodies
love
are
it. But as you
like,
were saying, yeah, sometimes they get
yeah,
caught by the goodies.
you get caught by the goodies, but I mean, those Easter eggs are everywhere. So it's just, the Easter eggs is all you got to do is rumble in the grass, like, oh, there's some more. So it's not like that. But if that man feels he's a target, Mr. Samuel said something about that before, right? On one of his videos. I think I sent you the link a couple days ago, right, Suzette? And
Yes.
yeah, if if you oh you're gonna be a mark, and or she's gonna mark you, and she's gonna try to extort you. What? You, you can cancel that, right? Just like
Yeah.
you can cancel a credit card you don't want, right? You can cancel, you can get rid of that person. You can remove them from your life. It's very, very
It's all about
easy.
choices at the end of the
Mhm.
day. I think sometimes that sometimes those accountability checks and balances with friend groups, etc., sometimes are kind of shoved aside and people want what they want. But yeah, it's a
Mhm.
very big thing to I think choose. Dr. Thunder said it, we have a choosing problem when it comes to dating. Sometimes we don't want to choose what is best for us. We want to choose the hot girl. Anyway, I'll leave that alone. Miss Globe Girl says there's a popular narrative from Black men that they, don't want the U.S. government in their marriage. I've never heard a well articulated breakdown of their concern or their rationale. Is that something that you ascribe to?
Mm, no, I can't say it's that right. I'm thinking a lot. Well, most men who are saying that, if you look, well, most I'm thinking, if you don't want the government in your relationship, nine times out of 10 is going to be because of, if things go south, finance, right? If things go south between you and that woman, finances, she's going to, and if you're doing well, she is going to get half or more. So I'm thinking this is why. Oh, I don't want that. This. I don't want the government in my affairs, because like, again, if things go south, she automatically, the state is going to side with her, and I am going to lose. That is how the system is built here. So that's how I see it. Um, and now, that wasn't my experience, because I didn't have any assets at the time, like when when went through all that with my
Mm,
on my end. But now, if that man has something to lose, yeah, he's definitely thinking, and that's why even TLA was like, you better get a prenup,
yeah. So
straight up,
not wanting
because
to lose half, I think, is the answer.
yeah,
If
not
something
wanting to,
goes south and not
yeah.
wanting to suffer, I guess, at the hands of family courts is what I'm understanding. Andrew on the super chat, thank you. I appreciate it, brother. Andrew will be starting a channel soon, y'all. Get ready. Andrew says, Suzette, men value the quality of character, femininity, respect a woman gives, and her elegance. The problem
Absolutely.
is this country has too many districts. Hmm.
Can you define districts for me?
Yes. What do you mean by that last part? Andrew, just clarify. The problem is this country has too many districts. I wonder if that's what you meant. I don't know what that last part meant, but I understand what you're saying here. When high value men look at women, it's not about their career necessarily at all. It sounds like what Andrew is explaining here as well. And Danny, would you agree with this?
With what Andrew
Andrew
said,
says,
or
yeah.
what does the last part mean before I can even comment?
I
The last
don't know,
part.
but the first part, men value quality of character, femininity, respect a woman gives, and her elegance. Let's do that. What
Yeah,
about that?
yeah, that's I 100% that's correct, because women we in since the beginning of the world, that's how men being traditional, and most of the time we don't change. If you're talking about a normal regular man, a traditional man, this is how we, I mean, naturally speaking, we look for the submissive woman. The submissive doesn't mean you're a doormat, you can't talk. Yeah, I'm supposed to talk all the time. I'm gonna yell at you, shut up. It's not like that. Some people think it's like that. No, no. It's mean your spirit is kind. And if you're submissive, you can turn the men all around. You can do. You're gonna give you so much money. You'll be like, dude, baby, no, that's some money, dog, baby.
They
You
don't
told
know,
me that
Danny.
thing,
They don't
yeah.
know
It's
that quiet
style,
string. Absolutely,
yeah.
that
And
quiet
it's
string.
hard for your men to say no to you because
Yeah,
it's
in your
submissive, and
femininity,
you
it's
win
very
them, and
hard.
yeah, the men become
Yeah,
blind. It's all natural, and I hope some women take note because it's all men are seeing. Most of the men, that's how we see it is natural. So this is very true. So yeah.
yeah. Andrew, big up yourself. Thank you again for showing love. Yeah, there's people that are like, yeah, is he a high value man? I think so. You consider yourself, Danny, a high value man?
Oh, I've been high value since I was inside the belly of my mother.
Bruh, bruh, bruh. Danny said, "Don't even go there, bruh." Been high value. I love it. I love it.
Because even I wasn't being in America. The great thing I have, my parents give me a biblical education, and that education kept me from doing so many mistakes. I could have messed up my life. I'm being honest. I could have messed up my life like some of
And where
my
are you
friends.
from, Danny?
They from Haiti. I was born
Ah,
Haiti.
big up, ICN. Big up my
Yeah, ça
Haitian
passé.
brethren. Ça
Yeah.
passe. Okay,
Nabule.
cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so the Bible education saved my life from doing certain thing. And from there on, and my daddy come to America, then he bring us. So when I come to America, guess what? I was paying close attention to the culture because
Mhm.
I like reading. So that's what saved me too. So certain decision I didn't make. To find my girl, I have to went back to I went back to my home country to find me a girlfriend. So it's not that I don't. It's the culture. I wasn't fit in the culture, the mindset, and I came from a different country. And in order for you to adapt to your culture, or if you want maybe an American woman, you have to adapt to the culture. You have to fit the
Absolutely.
perspective, the
Adapt to the new.
ideology. So I
Absolutely.
wasn't always like that. So yeah. So I
Shout out
keep
to
it
you,
cool.
Andrew. I see you in the back. Thank you, Danny.
So
I
yes,
don't
I'm
know if I agree
all
with this.
about it. It's like I have a good heart. I have a good heart. Take care of my family. Take care of brothers and sisters. And I'm still striving. I'm learning. I'm trying to better myself. Yeah. I don't have
Absolutely.
$1 million in the bank, but what I can tell you, I never let on my payment, and I still got some investment going on. So
Let's
I got something going
go.
on.
Danny
It's
said
not
my bills
it's
be
not the million
paid
dollars, but I got
and I'm
something
helping
going.
other
So,
people. I love it.
yep.
I don't agree with this last man, last good man in Jersey says character has very little to do with high value man. High character, low money equals chump.
True. That's
High character,
real.
low money equals chump. Okay. Low
Yeah.
character, high money equals prize.
I
You
got a question. I got a
hold
question.
on
When you
before
say
you
low
before
money, what do you mean by low money? How much money someone have to make
I
to
don't know.
consider
Let
low
me let
money?
Tobias go ahead. Tobias, answer this
so
one.
high character, low funds, right? A lot of times he will be a chump, or women a lot of times aren't, right? The you say like the eights, nines, and tens a lot of times they aren't paying attention to that guy, especially the younger women. And as a man ages, a lot of times he does, oh, I want something. Let me get a little 22-year-old or 21-year-old as, fun. But if his funds are low, he can have all that character, but they're not checking for him. Now you can have low character and high funds. Women will chase that guy all day long. Now they both serve their own purpose. Typically she's looking for a great time, and he's looking for a great time, right? Which is goodies. Then you have high character and high finances. That guy is above all of that.
That's where I was. I was like, wait, he
Yeah.
missing one. High
Yeah,
character and
you
high
got
finance.
you
Yeah.
got when you get both, that guy is he
Unstoppable.
oh
Hmm.
yeah, and he will wait, right? He will wait his he's not in a rush, like, oh, yeah, she, you cute and all, but nah, I'm good. Just your character, there's something not right for within her for him. It might not be for anybody else, but there's just something there. He's like, nah, I'm cool. It was nice meeting you, and hey, enjoy your
Yeah.
life, right? And there's no hard feelings.
Mm.
He's- Y'all there?
Yeah, sorry, I
Okay.
was muted.
Oh.
I was just thinking, we have a couple more gentlemen coming into the mix. And Drew, I see you, Reese. From Philly. Nice to see you, brother. The Dragon. I have joined the chat. Thank you
Do I
so
have an
much.
echo?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Sandy B, let me read this super chat before I get you guys' thoughts. Thank you so much for the love, Sandy B Law. She says this is a great convo. While I don't care much for the high value label, as it creates a low value label as well. What are your thoughts on this? So, are there men that are low value?
Absolutely.
Wow. Is that a good thing, or we just leaving it like that? Wow.
Now, there are men who are, when I say low value, that means, well, what are, first and foremost, let's even take the relationships out of it. What are they doing to improve their lives? Honestly, what are they doing to improve their lives? Are they complaining because, I got white supremacy and racism hold me back? Like, hold on, I come from the same thing you do.
Fact.
Right? Or something
So
similar.
you're saying that there has to be,
Yes,
inferentially, if there are high value men, there are going to be low value men.
absolutely. There are winners and losers out there.
Oh, y'all
That's
mad? Okay, okay,
Yeah,
understand.
there's winners and there's losers, and there's different levels of the game. Some of these men who are losers don't suit up. Now, you understand sports. For you to get on the field, you got to suit up. If you're not in uniform, you're not in the game. You don't even have a chance to win. You're not right. You're not even. That's why, like I. There's a lot of cats out there, a lot of men who just they're not trying to do anything, and that's their choice. We don't talk bad about them, but that's just their choice. Just like the men who's doing well, they don't talk about it. Their actions show it. Now, for other men, their actions also show if they're not doing anything. If you have no results to show for. Actually, you do. You just look at the life that one has. If that man isn't trying to do more, well, that's his fault. Honestly, some folks may not want to hear it.
Gentlemen on the panel, raise your hand if you think there's such thing as a low value man.
Pookie, right.
Okay, y'all agree. Okay, I'm just asking.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you, Sandy B. Provocative comment. I love it. And question. Andrew Reese, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
Fantastic.
You want to go first, Andrew?
Andrew, go ahead. Let's hear your thoughts on tonight's convo. Thank you.
He's
muted. You're muted. Go ahead. Unmute. Sorry.
I'm sorry. You guys have great voices, by the way. I'm jealous. I sound like the milk post over here, man. Everyone got bad man voice. You got pimp voice. You got the dragon, and my Creole brother just killing it too. He gets the ladies too. Don't let him fool you. No, what I meant to say before was distractions. But my lovely spell check likes to change things on me right after I send. But what I'm saying is, like, we know, I guess some people call them in Europe, is it washermen or wastemen? There's the truth. There are people that don't live up to their potential. The goal is not necessarily just to be great, but to strive for excellence. If the person's striving for excellence, making things go forward, perpetually improving themselves, that's what value is. I do real estate. It's show and prove. You can have a bad month. You can have a great month. Sometimes you can trip into circumstances and money. That's the story of my life. The greatest things I've ever received in life, I never planned for. So, that's my whole thing. I've spoken to you before. The stuff that I know and do and trip into, you wouldn't believe it. Now, can you imagine what I don't speak about? It's crazy. But as far as value is, like, the thing is, I understand why the gentleman went back to his home country to get a wife. You need someone that you can relate to and have understanding with. This country has too many distractions, in a sense, because you have so many people trying to influence the way people build. That's why a lot of people send their children back to their home countries or to boarding schools when they have the means, because they want to protect them from distractions. And there's only so much you can protect them from the negative distractions. Like yourself, Suzette, you were raised a certain way, so you have a certain parts of your culture that you'll always have. So you're not going to understand some of the issues that other people have because they don't have it in them. That's just what it is.
So as far as your understanding of a high value man concept, do you agree with what Tobias has shared as far as his definition? Do Do you think it's more so about the money? Do you think it's more so about character? Do you think it's more
Well,
so about respect and village and respect of a group or influential contacts? Or what? How do you define high value man?
well, money is a scale thing. But I do think one can have high value based on influence and how they navigate the things. Like if I don't necessarily bring in a high value, but if I have a mate, someone like yourself, Suzette, and I'm able to play my role and add to value with you, that means I'm adding to the group. I might not show it, but I would add to the value. So sometimes you just have to play that out. There's like sometimes you have, like you said before, I've listened to you. Your father might not have always made the money, but he did his part well. And
absolutely. So you're
come out
saying
well.
Role player as well as kind of pushing himself forward, bettering himself. Linda, thank you for your comment. Says high value men take care of their health, understand a woman's health, respect time, and cast no negative judgment or hold grudges within their mind. Would you accept some of those as high value or all of those as high value characteristics?
Well, that's the whole thing. At the end of the day, people look at finances these days because relationships in this era of
Uh-oh.
That is a screenshot.
Andrew's getting so good. Let me drop you down to you, unfreeze. Go ahead. I think you're back.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
High value in this era is transactional. So unfortunately, people base it off the dollar. We lack the ability to focus on character. Character needs to be right up there. And even Kevin Samuels, I hate to say it all the time like that. KS always says this: character is a part of it. Right. Influence is a part of it. It's a sum total, not the sole amount. So, having the money there, fine. It's having a certain amount of money, have a certain amount of influence, and bring a certain amount of value. Learning to subdue one's passions. Yeah. That's why I say before, like Tobias says, like he's a traveler, he's well-rounded. That in and of itself is high value, because if he was to consult with his experience, he'd be high value in weeks. Super high value in this country. He knows that already. His experience.
Well, I'm sure Tobias must be juggling them. Tobias swatting them off. Hey, elbowing them off right now.
Yeah. But the thing is,
I think y'all hit the like button, subscribe, please, both to our channel here and over to Tobias the Traveler's channel. I agree with you, and I'm going to get Reese involved now. There was a comment here I had up just now. I can't find it. Last good man in Jersey was like, if he's high character, high value, he's either married or he's a perpetual bachelor. So I can hear that echoing. Of course there are low value men, says Schema. Okay, y'all, I was just asking a question because Sandy was there. Okay, cool. Reese, what are your thoughts on tonight's combo?
Well, first of all, I don't even like the term high value man. I'm 52 years old and I have just heard this for the first time about 2 years ago. So up until then I had no idea what a high value man is, and I'm not even sure where I rank in that. But if you ask 1,000 people, you're going to get 1,000 different descriptions, and there's no set guidelines for what a high value man is. You know what I mean? Depending on the woman, a high value man could be anything. You know what I mean? I think the conversation is silly, but we're having it, so let's have it. Finances, of course, is important. We live in a monetary world. It's a no-brainer. You have to be able to survive. Money equals life in our world. I didn't write the rules. It's just the way it is. That's how you survive. So, of course, you want your value to be as high as possible. Now, my advice to any woman that is seeking a high value man, regardless of how you look, the odds are very slim. Very, very slim. So I would say latch on to someone who has potential to be a high value man and start getting to know people instead of jumping into situations. You see a guy riding down the street with a Ferrari, you become his girlfriend overnight. You find out the Ferrari is rented. You find out he owes people money, but on face,
Miami,
he looked like a high value dude. You know what I'm saying? So you have to get to know people to understand their value. You know what I mean? Me personally, I don't make a lot of money, but I'm 6'3". I got dimples. This is my high school body.
Let's go.
I'm not going to run out of gas ever. I'm going to look like this 10 years from now when I'm 62, and I'm going to come back to YouTube and prove it. That's value. Health is value. That's what my value is. I sold my Benz so that I could afford to eat berries and nuts every morning. Go do your research on how much that shit costs. You see what I'm saying? My value lies in my health. So I'm an older man. See, I'm in the gray area now. You see what I'm saying? So when I come onto a woman, I want to be around for her for about another 20, 30 years. You see what I'm saying? Then we'll can establish value along the way. You know, of course, I'm going to come in with a little bit of chips, but I don't know. This whole high value talk is a mixed bag. I don't judge people. You know, women, you don't have to be all that high value to date me. I'm so easy to please. It's ridiculous, man.
Marie said there's an overemphasis on this term, not even something that he had heard.
Suzette,
Go ahead.
Quick question, because I don't want to change your topic of discussion. Have you ever noticed that it's almost universally understood that men don't look at a woman's net worth? It's some of the other qualities I discussed. We tend to, and here's the funny thing, and this, I know some people talk about the looks and everything else like that. If you don't have the looks, put that to the side. If you have a great personality, you're feminine, you treat people with respect, you show love and affection and support, guess what? You are number one. Until you start accepting that, everything else could be worked on, and you could grow to love that person. But that's the whole thing. Men, we're simple. We're like black and white. That's us. We are basic in those things. You give us that thing, it's like rubbing a dog's belly. That's all we want, period. We keep it very basic.
Not the rub on the belly, not the rub on the belly. I love
Hey, I want to address something before I get out of here, right?
Yes, go ahead, Reese.
So, I've been on a severe tour around Black YouTube, right? And I noticed something. There are some high-value women and high-value men on YouTube I've been running into a lot, who, in my opinion, are high value. My question is, why are y'all playing games? It does not make sense that people like you and Chantel and Lucky are single. You got this guy right here on the panel. You had at least 4 or 5 people, guys that I've seen up here that would have been dynamite candidates for a husband for you. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I really wish that these YouTubers would start getting together and dating each other, because you're all complaining about how the dating field is out here, but here you are together on a screen together. This is the dating field. This is the safest place to date, right here on YouTube. That's what I think. I'm just saying that right here today on the SuzetteSpeaks show. First time ever said in YouTube history.
I hear
all right?
you. But
I don't get it, man.
And Reese, they saying, I see you, Miss Globe Girl says, Reese is my kind of high value, man. I hear you.
Well, I'm not talking about me. I'm not going near no women till August. No disrespect, y'all. I love the sisters, but I'm chilling till August. I'm talking about y'all.
No,
my
but
YouTube daughters.
and I think we can do a whole show about it. If there is a lot of assumptions that I think this is too much of a can of worms to open right now in this show, Reese. But yeah, I think, there are people that want serious relationship, and there's people that just want to date you. And I'm not running into a lot of serious people. I'm running into just want to date me people. So I hear what you're saying. I wish I feel like I would have been married already if it was more like people who want to be married to me. But yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I think maybe we need a whole women's panel on that.
Well, you're in an unfortunate situation because you're part of a generation that, I don't know, y'all sexual practices are a lot different than from when I was 20 and 30. You know what I mean? Like, anything goes out here. Look, I look younger than I am. I'm walking out here in the world as a 35-year-old man. So this is what the world sees me as. So younger women come on to me all the time, and I have these discussions with them. I know what y'all doing out here. You see what I'm saying? And here's the thing. A conservative woman like yourself, right? You're up against baddies that
people who are in the streets doing whatever they want to do. Yeah.
Listen, but you're up against baddies that look as good as you would do, but they're throwing it around.
I know.
You see what I'm saying? If I could just get it just like that, why would I go through a struggle to get with Suzette? You see what I'm saying?
But guess what? You're going to end up, not saying you, but theoretically, you're going to end up back in the baby mama pool.
Facts.
And so, I mean, you can choose that. You can choose the easiness, which I think a lot of brothers who've been talking about our choices in the Black community as far as who we women are trying to go after and who men are going after. But you end up back with these heartbroken men who are like, oh my God, women ain't nothing. But no, look at who you chose. But I agree with you. This is the big conflict, the big juxtaposition of, dating methodology, or what we're taught is, how a woman should present herself to a man in a serious way. Thank you, Linda, for the super chat. But the scary part is what is attractive to men. I've heard it described here, but y'all liking all the tatted up BBLs, all the things that you're saying, not you, Reese, but many men say, oh no, give me natural. Oh no, give me
Suzette.
plastic. Give me conservative, as Tobias has said. But when y'all pick who you be in the DMs for, who you sleeping with, basically, it's not me. It's those
Suzette.
ladies who you're saying,
Let
oh
me.
my
Can I?
gosh, have
Can I?
too much flex. Yeah, let's be
Well,
real. Let's
I'm
be
gonna tell you
real.
like this: that all of that is true, and I see it every day. I cannot lie about what happens in front of my eyes. I can't do it. It's real. Right now on the panel, the brother looks good in his suit. I can't see his hand. I don't see no flash and no diamond in the joint. He's high value. It should be chicks on YouTube trying to get at this man in his DMs. High value women. So he ain't got to worry about these ratchets in the club.
Are there, Tobias?
Yes, there are. All right now, when it comes to when it comes to women that are all tatted up and all that, now,
Tobias, you be hitting them up though.
no, I don't.
Are
You know
sure?
what? Oh, I don't know. I don't slide to women's DMs. Oh no, I
These
don't have
men
to.
act like they want one thing, but then who
No,
are they all up on? It is not
because
me.
hold on,
Suzette, no, hold on.
Let me hold on.
You,
Let me get it real
I'm
quick.
sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
We do want that, but we want the cake too. I want my cake and another cake too.
What does that
And
mean?
I want my cake, which is you, and another cake too. Now, the other women who are all tatted up, they're fun. It's fun only. Just like, white women are very, they lose this word, or even black women, I use this word very loosely. Oh, I'm just looking to have fun. I'm just fun. Well, the women who are a lot of times tatted up, they are fun. And in a physical sense of it, do you want to wife that woman?
Y'all end
Probably
up in
not.
trouble dealing with those ladies, though. Y'all end up in trouble.
Yeah,
But
true.
Suzette,
That is a possibility, but that's also that man's choice. If if it goes that direction and there's some issues,
Y'all
well,
tripping. Let me bring up Miss Linda. Go
he
ahead,
chose that.
Andrew. Give me some feedback, Andrew. Make your comment and then please go back on
real
mute.
quick,
Go ahead,
okay.
Andrew.
Yeah,
Hey,
here's the
Miss
whole thing.
Linda.
There's some massive feedback.
Yeah, you're Andrew. You give me feedback. Go ahead and
He has
make.
to mute YouTube. He has to mute YouTube. The
Yeah.
video on YouTube.
I
Tell him to
don't
turn
have
it
the
off.
video on. My video's off.
Go ahead, Andrew. But I think yours is giving me feedback. Go ahead.
All right. All I have to say is the problem is you're not supposed to be dating. You're supposed to be courting.
Okay. Thank you.
Courting.
Let me get Miss
Courting
Linda
is only-
involved. Thank you, Andrew. I gotta put you on mute. The feedback is really crazy tonight. Miss Linda, good evening. How are you?
Hey, Suzanne, how you doing?
I'm happy to see you. Thank you for the generous super chat. First and foremost, appreciate you.
Yeah.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm the baby up in here. I'm the youngest one.
I love it. Appreciate
Yeah.
you coming up to share your wisdom on this topic. What are your thoughts on the high value man concept and anything that we've been discussing tonight?
Well, as far as high value, and like I said, I didn't know Kevin Samuel, but I know that he put a lot into his work, which may have cost him. It appears that everybody, the consensus was that everybody said that Kevin, really, really worked hard, and he needed, help of other people. You can go out there and grab that bag, but at the end of the day, if it's going to cost you, your life, then that's a concern. That was a big concern. And even though, like, I thought about it, yesterday was the military day. Shout out to all the men that served this country. As if my husband was here, he would say, Marines out first, hoorah, simplify. Okay, and that word there, simplify, means loyalty, and we don't, and women, and men don't have loyalty to each other. That's something that a concept that men and women have kind of lost.
Loyalty. Ain't that the
Loyalty.
truth? My goodness.
Yeah, and another thing that kind of concerns me, I understood the learning style of my spouse who's now deceased. He was an introvert, okay? An introvert are very successful people, but they need to shut the noise out. They need
Mm.
to be in an environment where they can have that mind to create their thoughts to be successful, you know. But sometimes we overlook that whole learning process. If I knew how Tobias learns, and he's an introvert. I know to back off and give him his space and not crowd him, because I used to always joke with my husband and say, so you're the brother that created the shut the F up type, because he wasn't being mean to me, you
Mm-hmm.
know. He just needed that room, that space, Um, I have learners that are mathematical logical. I'm auditory verbal. We don't even look at that part of in a relationship, your thinking process. I don't even think that and Tobias has traveled all over the world. I guess I want to ask him, how long do you sit down with a young lady and then you find out that there's nothing up there? There's no conversation. Uh,
Uh-oh. Miss Linda, open up
5 minutes.
your mouth now.
you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Uh,
Yes.
she's beautiful. You're in another country. You know, the trees are going. You got the fruit on the table, the nice drink, and you're sitting across from her and you can like, uh, this ain't high value. This is kind of an empty nest. You know what I'm saying? So, what is I Suzanne, I think on the other show you wouldn't admit your age, but you
No,
did.
no, I don't want nobody in my business, Miss Linda. Thank you,
That's
though.
okay. That's okay.
Thank you, Miss Linda. I don't want nobody in my business.
That's okay. You're a beautiful woman. You're a beautiful woman, and
Thank you.
that's something that our sisters don't. We don't even acknowledge that. We don't. To each other. We. Even if we depart from ex or a spouse, even if we see them up in the mall or somewhere else, we don't even compliment them. It's like we almost want them to be tore down and say, well, he really looks bad since he left me. We can't just say,
Mm,
Tobias look really good, even though he's with somebody else. We don't do those things, you know.
absolutely. Miss Linda, that I think that just used to be done, wanting to build up our fellow man, wanting to build up others' self-esteem, from our children to, our sister girl to our husbands and our boyfriends. Like, being able to see the good in them and not focus on the bad, and push them. I hear you. Let me ask Tobias to answer your question. Tobias, how long does it take if you are seeing a woman, I think not on a fun escapade, but on a serious escapade? How long does it take for you to understand where she's coming from, or if she's the real deal or not?
That's going to be within 15 minutes, probably less than
Okay.
that. I mean, it's usually pretty quick because, I'm not going to jump to no questions immediately, like, oh, so do you want more children or do you want to have a child? Right. Let me just talk to you. Can we laugh? Can we have a conversation that, the dialogue is there. I'm not going to ask you anything about physics or differential equations. No, I'm not. It's not even that type of deal. But I asked you something. I expect a response, and the response should be coherent. If we aren't,
Mm-mm.
if it's what, the response can be coherent, but then again, it might be what I don't want to hear. I'm like, oh, okay, she has her viewpoints, and that's cool. But at that point, I'm done. Right? I
Yeah.
don't need a whole lot of time.
Hmm.
You know,
Do you date
to
other races and cultures?
yes, I do.
Okay. Now, you find a difference between how receptive Black women are of you versus
Yes,
how, explain.
yes. Oh yeah. Like, well, now I gotta preface it. Now, since I'm in Northern California, like born and
Hmm.
raised here, lived a bunch of places though. A lot of Black women, when they, like, remember I told you earlier, when women see me a lot of times, they disqualify themselves. Typically, it's Black women that disqualify themselves when they see me. They're like, oh, look at him. He looks great, but he don't date Black women. No, I don't date a woman like you. Not
Oh,
because you're
ouch, ouch,
Black.
shots fired. Wow, okay.
It's not because you're Black. Your skin ain't got nothing to do with it. But you got tats and all that. I'm not with that. If you got neck tattoos, that's cool. That's who you are. I don't point fingers and I don't call names, but that's just not what I'm looking for.
Okay, so you're saying is a difference in terms of kind of when you see maybe even socioeconomic differences, it sounds like.
Mm,
Or
not socioeconomic, no, because I know I've I'm going to date a woman, right? I'm going to, I will be with a woman who does make less than me. When I, if I get married again, even if it's in another country, I'm paying for everything. That's what it is.
Because you got a good career,
100%.
and absolutely understood.
Even if, you know what? Even if I do meet an American woman, right? And no matter how it goes, I'm paying for everything. So it's what it is.
Okay, high value man, step up. Okay, I hear you. Miss Linda, have you, when you think about your late husband, rest in peace, did he fit the definition of a high value man?
Absolutely. Well, I know the times has changed a lot, and I was a woman that I wasn't emailing him. Well, we didn't have all that then, but I never went through his personal items, his wallet, because I always felt that if you're looking for something, you're gonna find something, And I respected his belongings. I don't ever recall checking through his suit pockets.
That'd be the equivalent of going through his phone. So you wasn't doing none of that.
Oh no, I wasn't doing that because I figured he came home. A lot of things I didn't question. It wasn't on my mind,
Wow.
Well, it's different now because, God, you got electronic stalkers. You can't even breathe. A man can't go to the store. They standing in line. You can hear the cash register ringing. They being texted 20 times. And I'm like, God, I'm ready to divorce that person. Good God, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm just.
They tracking them on the iPhone. They tracking them at the purchase, point of purchase. They tracking them at the gas station. It's crazy. You're right.
And what happens? They had friends before you. Why come they can't have friends now? I don't get that, because I mean, if these are his buddies that came over and played dominoes, I don't have no reason to, question, they're his friends,
Yeah.
And they were there before I was there. So why?
They say you preaching, Miss Linda. Go ahead.
Why are you trying to break that up? And then I don't understand the sisterhood thing. Let me tell you, I never had women in my house during the time I was married. No, because you know what happens? You know that one of those sisters are waiting for you to leave, so that as soon as you go around the corner, they're going to be trying to check out your man. So I never liked working 2 jobs. No way. It's a hassle. If somebody said, well, you act like you don't like me, you damn right. I like your husband better. I will do him. I'm not doing you. Okay? That's too much damn work. That's too much work. And I'm just saying that, it looks harder if you're at a job. And that day is the hardest day of your life when you're trying to pretend like you're working. You're trying to pretend like you're being somebody's friend. That's too much. Why come you can't be who you are and just roll out? I think there's no such thing as privacy. There's no such thing as respect.
He has his life, you have your life, and it's okay sometimes to be separate. And allow him his space and that's very difficult in this time. People want to be all over you and know every aspect of, every move you make. What you referring to Tobias being capped, Miss Creative? What were you referring to on that one? But there's a lot of wisdom in what Miss Linda is saying in terms of not having to be all over a husband and trusting him and understanding hopefully who you decided to lay your life down in his hands, and making sure that you are supportive. Hey, YouTubers gone wild. Nice to see you. Yes. The Godfather, rest in peace, he says. Miss Linda, what else would you like to add? I know, Reese, you said you had to go, but do you want to add anything, Reese?
I just want to say to the sister that just spoke, your husband was a high value man simply because of his wife alone.
Thank you. I really appreciate
After hearing that, I'm stuck. I don't really know what to say, y'all. For real.
Absolutely.
I'm hitting this red X. I love everybody. I'll be back.
All right, Reese. Thank you for coming through. Reese,
yes, ma'am.
Appreciate
Peace,
you.
y'all.
Soon. All right. Bye now. Yeah, there is a lot to be said about just who you are and him selecting you. 100%. 100%.
I'm going to leave your chat in a minute, but I want to leave this with all the young men. I was taught, you can agree and you can disagree with a person, but you can still love that person,
Right.
And I was also taught that the less you ask for, the more you will receive. Okay.
The less you ask for, the more you will receive. Wow.
And And I think the women don't, they ask for, they're asking for a lot. And I kind of understood Kevin's, I went back and I reviewed, uh, a lot of his films, and I really in my heart wish that he had more time. I really do. And my value has changed because I'm older now. And so the element of my value would be my time and my mind. That's for me. Everybody's everybody's value is different, okay? But you got to think of one thing. What is your quality of life? If your mind stops and you can't make that decision, who is that person that's next to you that's going to be making decisions? Is that person going to be running through the house at the end of your life, trying to figure out if every I or every T is dotted? Is this somebody that you really trusted? It will all come out. It will all come out. But if you get somebody, make sure that person is there for the best interest of your life, because we saw that in Johnny Depp's trial. We are not surrounding ourselves with people that are guardians, that's there to protect us. We're not. And that happens all the time. So I've enjoyed talking to you young men.
Thank you,
And
Miss Linda, for the win. Everybody's enjoying you and your commentary. Yes, very deep. They're saying absolutely loving hearts from the arbiter. Absolutely appreciate you coming up tonight, Miss Linda. Thank you. You're welcome up anytime, and thank you again for your generous gift. Appreciate you, ma'am.
And Suzanne, one more thing before I go.
Yes.
That word was anosognosia.
Say it one more time.
That word that you I think on your show you said, I can't pronounce that word. I was there.
Oh yes.
And it was anosognosia.
So okay.
That was the word.
Thank you. You remember. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You're always welcome up here. Shout out to Miss Linda for offering her wisdom. Appreciate you. A lot there. I'll be using some of that. Thank you very much. Miss Linda said, less you ask for, the more you get. Yes. Oh, wow. Miss Linda, hearts in the chat for Miss Linda, please. Lots of great advice. Andrew, what are your final comments when it comes to this discussion? And I'm going to let panels now close, y'all. Last call, and I'm going to give Tobias the final word. Go ahead.
I love Linda right there. That's the kind of wife I want right there. God bless her soul. God bless her family. God bless anyone that took influence from that. And I'm learning is you just don't date people. Get to know who they are. Like Tobias says, you have to know the quality of the character. That's why I think we have to court. Get to know people. Then you make the investment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If they make the thing, their family's decent, they know your family's decent, then you engage. It's a waste of time and idle. Idleness is sin. So all I gotta say is that we need to stop BSing ourselves. We'll be cleaner, happier.
And they out here having fun with the fun girls. That's what they told me.
No. You gotta be careful with them. They're expensive too.
Y'all are out here playing games with the fun girls. Okay, I hear it.
No. No headaches. I have a kid. Remember, I have to worry about Matthias now. You know this.
Yeah, right. So no, definitely a lot of high value information from Miss Linda. First Gen Corp, good to see you, says looking for guarantees sets a ceiling in what you receive. Have some trust in your choices, and you can turn that into a floor and enjoy more. Hey, I love it.
Have a good night, sis. Take care.
All right, thanks Andrew for coming up. Appreciate you guys. The back is now closed. There is so much wisdom in what she just stated. And again, hearts in the chat for Miss Linda and what she just offered. Yes, Lindas do exist. Miss Linda does exist. Don't say that last man, good man from Jersey. Yes, Miss Linda doing work here tonight. No problem. Danny had to go. No problem. It's all right. We're wrapping up now. Observe women like stocks. I love it. But yeah, final thoughts for tonight. I've definitely learned some more about the thinking of high value men. And I guess, what is your best advice going forward? I think there are people who are looking at you like, wow, I want to be like him. Wow. Someone let you into their circle, opened your mind. You had a whole different perspective after meeting that, a guy. And saw someone write in the chat about, how many people have you mentored? How much assets do you own? All this, not to you personally, but they were asking about
Yeah,
high
I took a
value.
screenshot of that.
You did?
Oh
Okay, because
yeah,
I wanted
yeah.
someone to address
I
it.
take
But
notes. I take notes. I keep score. No, and ask them, what do they actually control, right, in their own communities? What do they actually own as far as appreciating assets? However many, I don't know if she meant to write however many, how many young men have they groomed, mentored, or
yeah,
employed,
did you
etc.
pay it forward? Someone opened up your eyes. Did you pay it forward? Or have you paid it forward?
Actually, I'm still paying it forward. So there's a brother, right, that I talked to. He actually hit me up on LinkedIn back in 2015, and we've been friends ever since. He hits me up with questions on many different areas, and yeah, I provide him, knowledge based off, my experience, my learnings, and a lot of, my experience is, a lot of times still different from his. But then again, at least being able to see, or hear someone's experience, when you come to that fork in the road, you're like, okay, well, maybe I should be going left instead of going right based off this person's experience. It just helps you to better understand or have a better, more perspective versus going at something 100% by yourself. Like, we a lot of times we shouldn't be trying to reinvent the wheel as far as, like I said, many things in life. This is why people get mentors. If they've already done the work and you're trying, you're on that path, go talk to someone. They can actually help you out. They can actually ask you questions that you may not be asking yourself. And I have a 17-year-old son. This young man getting groomed daily. He's going to be a better version of me. He's already on his way. I look at him sometimes, when he's sleeping, I'm like, oh my God. Or I'll look at older photos of us when he was a child, and I'm like, or a toddler. Like, whoa, wow. And yeah, love it. As far as owning things in their community, right? Or what you actually control in their own communities. This is something that most Black folks don't do, right? Is own things in their community. Well, first, do you want to own something in your community? Do you plan on staying there? I know myself, when he's off to university next year, I'm moving out the country and I'm gone. So I can own something here, and it is an appreciating asset because I put that mug on Airbnb or just rent it out, have tenants. So that can work, but that's up to the individual. You know what? They may not want to own something in their community. Maybe they get to whatever their destination is and they buy some property and Airbnb it out because it's a vacation destination. Maybe that person wants to move to Hawaii, and Hawaii's booming right now. They want to move to whatever place they want to be. But it's just, again, having, the appreciating assets that really comes up to the individual. Or maybe you don't buy a house. Maybe you buy 2 or 3 cars and you rent them out on Turo, and them cars are going. My sister's doing that right now in Dallas, making it. So yeah, just
I
want
love
to
it.
touch
So
on
it
that real
sounds like
quick.
you checking those boxes. Let's go. Can you answer this question? Thank you, Kimo, again on the super chat.
Mhm.
Can a high value man overvalue themselves? I know some that go out of relationships and marriages because they didn't know, that got out of relationships and marriages because they didn't know they were high value men and
Mhm.
felt they shot too short. Interesting.
Mhm.
Overvalue themselves?
Mm, I don't think so. That man didn't know who he was as a man yet.
Mm.
And someone pointed it out, and that light came on. He's like, hold on. Actually, because we call it being hypergamous with women. Women will tell a man, oh, you're having a midlife crisis. Really? So, but women do it at, a lot of times at a younger age. She's like, oh, well, I'm, this guy, this way. She's climbing that ladder.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy, he's working hard, putting it together, getting his life in order, getting his finances in order and all that great stuff. But then he still may not know who he is as a man yet. Maybe he didn't have the time to just run the streets. And then he heard someone say all of these things, and it resonates with him. And he's been out with a couple of his friends, and he can see these women, looking at him. I think every man needs to go and just have that phase of their life, because when you don't, a lot of times, you will regret some things. And
Are you advocating for a whole phase for men?
absolutely, you need to go get it done early, or get it done whenever it's right for you.
Mm, okay.
Because but some guys are perpetual bachelors. That's what they're going to do. So
Mm-hmm.
hey, that's their choice. Just like it's a woman's choice to not deal with that man, or she can. It's all up to the individual. It comes down to communication.
Oh,
So,
okay. Well, thank you for that. Should come back and do a show
oh,
on black men and with conservative values. That's what I'm saying. I think it's in air quotes when they say conservative, because they don't really want women that are conservative. That's the thing. They say
no,
they want conservative women, but they don't really.
no, you will marry that woman. The other woman is physical fun. That's it. You don't see too many men of, like higher value like that. But you'll see men of money. They'll marry, like, okay, celebrities we can't talk about, because
No.
yeah, no. But that man who's a hardworking individual, maybe that person owns a business. I had a video on one of my I had a video called "He Will F You, but not F with You." Listen to
Mm.
that. He
Is that a
will
Kevin
F
Samuels
you.
video?
No, that's not Kevin Samuels. This was
Oh, okay. Wow.
this was my video.
Oh,
He
your
will
video.
Yes, he will F you, but not F with you.
Man.
And that happens a lot of times. So again, fun. Yeah, okay, we can go, we can do some things together. It can get physical, but am I actually interested in marrying you? Nah. I will go find little Miss Conservative. I will marry her. I will give her children. She will be the woman who, I continue this legacy with. If it's someone else, if it's fun, that's fun. Again, you will
Unless you
have,
knock up Miss Fun, but I ain't going there tonight. I
yeah,
appreciate
that's a
you.
completely different topic.
Y'all go ahead and subscribe to Tobias the Traveler. He's given us some great information on his journey to becoming a high value man. You want to make another comment? Go ahead.
Yeah, one more thing. We could talk about it in the back channel, but the other thing that you've probably heard about, with some black men, is either the SYSBM, Save Yourself Black Man, right, or the Passport Rose. That's a whole other another show, another topic. But yeah, we can go into it later.
Yes, Save Yourself Black Man is a whole different mindset. I think I don't know a lot about it. I've only seen it dropped a lot in the chats. Y'all see his name up there, Tobias the Traveler, on becoming a high value man and what it means according to the formula and the shows left by Mr. Kevin Samuels. Like I said, Tobias has watched almost all those old ones. I have not, but I learned a lot tonight about the thinking, about how men basically seem to process their self-worth, or what they consider as high value. And whether you agree or disagree, I think it's great to open up this conversation so that people can understand more about who they are and who they can become. So I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate all of you who are, y'all talking about friend zoning and cheating. There's so much more we can uncover tonight, but we'll leave it here. We'll have Mr. Tobias the Traveler back in order to spice up the conversation. He has a lot of life experience. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Thank you so much. Hit the like button as you leave. And I hope you have enjoyed this look at what it means to be a high value man. And I think like there has to be like a part 2 when it comes to Tobias is adding finances are in last place. Yeah, this was one thing, and I don't want to kind of open this can of worms back up. I was ready to wrap, but spirituality I never heard mentioned. Is that a part of your high value journey?
No.
Wow.
No.
Are you not a man of faith at all? You don't believe in anything?
No, I can't say that. I grew up in a Christian household, but I'm not going to say, oh, well, I attend church, even once a year on Easter. No, I haven't been to church in a while. Yeah, but I
Well,
don't
can I
see.
ask another personal question? Do you pray? Do you talk to God or anything like that?
No.
Okay. So yeah, I was thinking about that too, Ebony. But that's another show, y'all. Hit the like button. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for coming through, Tobias. Appreciate you. And thank you for your insights tonight. Everybody hit the like button as you go. I'll see you Thursday. Frank Gooden comes through, How to Find True Love. Frank is going to do a test that he created. He's just one man, y'all, figuring out how human beings can better kind of sieve through the finding a mate process. He created a test himself. He's thrown up a video on his page to describe what his methodology is. And he's going to show us these actual questions of his finding your compatibility partner test. So I can't wait. How to Find True Love, Thursday at 7. I do not think I'll be live this Saturday. Anyway, hit the like button. Good to see everybody. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.